Fair Girls was created to empower girls around the world. I co-founded Fair Girls with the conviction that every girl is a valuable human being with a lot to offer her community. I have personal experience to human trafficking. When I was 18, I found out that my friend in Germany was sold by her parents as a debt payment. No girl should be treated like a commodity to be bought and sold. When she disappeared, no one wanted to help me find her. She remains missing, and Fair Girls was inspired by my sense of her loss and honor of her memory. Yet there are thousands of girls who are being trafficked and exploited around the world. These are girls who have already been abused, neglected, discriminated against by their communities, and pushed to the margins. Many are homeless or orphaned, live in extreme poverty, or have run away from abusive homes. By the time that they are sexually exploited or trafficked, they are already almost forgotten. Fair Girls exist to find and be a safety net for these girls. We know that each and every girl deserves to have people who will not let her disappear and will help her reach her full potential. Fair Girls is about creating opportunities for these incredible young women who have so much to offer the world if given the chance. Fair Girls' current objective is to prevent more girls in America and around the world from being exploited for commercial sex or forced labor. We are doing this through educating high-risk girls and offering empowering services. We also seek to advance new policies on how high-risk and runaway girls are found and identified. First, we aim to expand our prevention education program for high-risk girls to additional cities beyond Washington, D.C. by training and partnering with our youth service agencies and schools in select cities identified by the FBI as being the most affected by child sexual exploitation and trafficking. Second, we aim to deepen our impact in the lives of the young girls we serve in our DC and global programs by expanding our current art therapy and economic empowerment program, Jewel Girls, to become a full-fledged mentorship program. Fair Girls has specific leverage points that make our organization successful. First, in our first 8 years of existence, Fair Girls has established a track record of collaboration and partnership with federal and state local law enforcement, state child welfare agencies, and community partners. We choose our partners in a way to create a holistic network that includes police, doctors, lawyers, teachers, and even young professional women's networks, all people who can create a circle of support to keep high-risk girls safe from exploitation and help survivors overcome their abuse. This uniquely positions us to advance comprehensive change in how each of the communities we work in can identify and assist a high-risk girl before she has been trafficked. This helps us meet our goal of preventing exploitation in the lives of girls before it starts, and also by empowering these young girls with the knowledge and resources they need to become confident and productive young women in society. Second, we are uniquely poised in each of the communities we work in to provide comprehensive programs to both high-risk and trafficked girls. We have a highly skilled team of social workers and advocacy professionals who can build on their years of experience working with high-risk and trafficked girls. Fair Girls is an effective organization because we utilize all of our community resources, both in terms of volunteers and in-kind donated facilities, to advance our mission to empower high-risk and trafficked girls. Our programs are survivor-informed and evidence-based. We also ensure that our programs are built on the real-life experiences of girl survivors of exploitation. For example, our current prevention education curriculum, Tell Your Friends, that educates 1,000 teen girls and boys inside public high schools and junior highs and foster homes in Washington, D.C., was crafted in response to interviews with over 78 survivors of commercial sexual exploitation and trafficking. The metrics of success for Fair Girls is both in the numbers of high-risk and trafficked girls we reach and the changes we effect in her community. We measure the effectiveness of our prevention education program by the increase in knowledge each girl gains, helping her deconstruct the pop culture influences that glorify pimp culture, and her ability to access community resources such as housing and counseling. On average, we see a 70% increase in the knowledge gained and attitudes change in each of the classrooms where we educate girls. In our emergency and direct service programs that currently serve 200 girls worldwide, our measures of success are tied to the individual experiences of the girls we serve. We help each girl map out her goals and access her needs. We also evaluate each girl's attendance and participation in our empowerment workshops. The girls also evaluate us by providing written feedback about our programs and services, thus ensuring our metrics of success are tied to their needs and goals as young survivors. Many people might think that Fair Girls is an anti-trafficking organization that happens to assist girls. However, we are actually proactive in nature and are a girls' empowerment program that keeps girls safe from exploitation. What we mean by empowerment is that we work with each individual girl to understand what she needs to stay safe and work with her to get what she needs to go on to be a strong young woman. That could include helping her get access to housing, or helping her explore job opportunities, or helping her apply to colleges so that she can grow her own future. We look at each girl we serve as a powerful young woman who can be and do anything she sets her mind to. Being exploited is something that happened to her, not who she is. Empowering these high-risk and trafficked girls is our passion. We seek to prevent girls from being exploited by understanding their strengths and working with their community to reduce their risks. Just this past year, Fair Girls worked with a young woman who, at the age of 13, witnessed her father being killed. Her mother had pushed her aside to care for other kids, and she felt lonely and started to spend more and more time away from home, ultimately finding herself in a local homeless shelter. We have taken this girl into our program and work with her to help her better cope with the challenges and loss that she faces and help her move on to a better future. And in fact, just recently we found out that she has scored so well in her pre-SATs that she's being admitted to an Ivy League school. Fair Girls was created in 2003 to empower high-risk and trafficked girls aged 11 to 21. Some of our recent major accomplishments include educating more than 3,000 teens in DC about how to stay safe from commercial sexual exploitation and trafficking. In 2007, Fair Girls worked with a team of practitioners and educators to develop a multidisciplinary curriculum to educate American children inside inner-city schools on what human trafficking is and how they can stay safe. Up until recently, anti-trafficking advocates and the general public believed that only foreign children could be victims of human trafficking. However, in recent years, we found many children here in the United States who have been victimized through commercial sexual exploitation. Our curriculum addresses this by teaching young people how to stay safe, how to understand the glorification of pimp culture, and also how to access resources in their community, ranging from housing to counseling to health care, so that they can stay safe or overcome situations of exploitation. As part of this curriculum, we actually ask the young people to draw what they think trafficking looks like. From these drawings that we put up on the board, we deconstruct the stigmas and help these children understand that this is not an everyday way of life, this is exploitation. And with our help, they can get out if they are being victimized. From this experience, we've been able to identify 125 American young people who've been commercially sexually exploited, almost all of whom were adolescent girls between the ages of 13 and 16. One of the historical challenges that Fair Girls has faced as we've grown into being a full-fledged organization is that many funders actually don't understand the severity of the situation of human trafficking, whether in the U.S. or internationally, and therefore they're not sure if they want to fund this issue. when in fact the girls that we serve at Fair Girls need the very same things that other girls need: education, housing, access to better services. But by the very fact that we're talking about human trafficking, particularly of American girls, many funders are scared or simply not sure if they want to get involved in that particular issue. So there's a process of really educating those supporters and how they can be involved, what the needs are of trafficked girls, and realizing that this really is about empowerment, even though we're talking about something that's dark and scary and hard to understand. Fair Girls is a dynamic organization. We have very dedicated staff and volunteers, and because of our small size, we can be nimble and responsive to the challenges and the needs of the girls we seek to empower and the communities where they live. However, one of our additional challenges is ensuring that we have the resources to effectively advance our mission and our work. We have very specific needs, including Metro cards and vans and transportation for girls exiting exploitation, phone cards to make sure that they can stay in touch with us and other people who are serving them, computers to ensure our staff can stay focused on their work and in control of what they're trying to do, staff and volunteers to advance our outreach programs, and clothing that's appropriate for the season. So for example, winter coats or summer outfits in the hot weather months, food for our after-school program for girls who oftentimes this is the only meal that they're going to get that evening. We also need pro bono legal and medical assistance to ensure our girls get the comprehensive safety and care that they need. We also need additional donated shelter and housing to ensure that each of our girls receive the long-term care and support that they need to go on with their lives. Fair Girls has a very distinctive vision to empower high-risk and trafficked girls. If Fair Girls had additional resources, including funding, we could do so much more. If Fair Girls received a core operational grant, for example, we would invest in strengthening the backbone of our young organization. This means hiring a full-time chief operational officer to streamline our financial and operational systems and take us to the next level of organizational growth. With this in place, we would be in a much stronger position to train and supervise more dedicated outreach and prevention education staff and volunteers. This would mean deepening our outreach to girls in the communities we serve now and expand our evidence-based programs to new communities where high-risk and trafficked girls are currently being lost and forgotten. On a more tangible level, we have specific needs, such as Metro cards and vans to transport girls to and from our programs, phone cards so our girls can stay in touch with us, computers for our staff and volunteers, clothing that is seasonally appropriate for our girls to make sure they have coats in the winter, food to make sure girls in our after-school programs have a good meal before going home. Many times, this might be the only meal they get that evening. Pro bono legal and medical support for our girls to stay safe and get access to the things that they need, and donated shelter housing and long-term care for girls who are transitioning out of a life of exploitation. These are just a few of the needs that we have to ensure that our girls are fully supported. If Fair Girls had additional resources, we would like to work more closely with the child welfare agencies in each of the communities and countries we work in to ensure that we are working alongside them and creating sustainable programs for high-risk and trafficked girls. For example, in Washington, D.C., a runaway girl can be charged with the crime of abscondence if she is deemed a repeat runaway. Oftentimes, this girl is then charged and detained at the youth detention facility where she is not offered therapeutic services and her potential risks are not fully assessed. Fair Girls has assisted girls who were charged with abscondence and truancy when in fact they were victims of human trafficking. The current way that a high-risk girl is treated does not often allow for her situation to be fully evaluated. When she leaves the detention facility, she is put back into the very exploitative situation she was found in, and services are not offered. Our society must make a huge cultural shift and view these high-risk girls as potential victims of human trafficking and exploitation. If Fair Girls had additional staff, we would like to work alongside and within the youth detention facility to create a secure yet therapeutic model for these high-risk girls that would ensure each girl is provided the secure protection and care that she needs. For example, this past summer, Fair Girls worked to assist a young woman who had run away from home over 16 times. During that time, she'd experienced exploitation, abuse, substance abuse, and a myriad of other high-risk situations. Yet, instead of being viewed as a victim of trafficking, she was repeatedly released from the youth detention facility and let back out in the community where additional exploiters could take advantage of her. It wasn't until a potentially life-threatening situation occurred that we were able to intervene and make sure that she got access to therapeutic services where she is now in a safe place out of state. It shouldn't have taken 16 times to get this girl to a safe place, and her recovery is going to take that much longer.